If you know a way I see, long ago there was a way called the Pseudomina guanacanama, and they were an L in Sioux. And this is a long time ago, before the USA or anything like that. They were a way we see, and they taught the Sioux sent away, they away L, and these are the ones. They steal it. No matter what, they go there to see. They go there and they take away what we see. And that is what they were, and they were always what it was. No one seems to understand what this is. Long ago, they see a way, and these were who the Lost Boys were. They are no longer what they were before a way. They are not even the Lost Boys thing. They are some other way we don't see when we see a way they see it, and this is what they are. This is something nobody I know can even comprehend because they don't see L in any way in the USA any longer. There was an attack one time, and the L were able to slip out of it, and they, since that day, have been disavowed as being a terrorist threat, and they see them no way. This is because they can use the away we see to get out of any situation that has occurred. Someone said this is only because it isn't derelict, but I say it is because they knew a way they see. Someone says it is none of these things. They actually know how to plan it so that it's disinformation. I asked someone, and he said, no one knows what way we see. He said, there hasn't been anybody like them in a very long time here. And from what I understand, they don't even have a body, from what I hear. They don't have anything like a body, and they are only shimmer mists. And they are it. They are something we see, and we never see a way we see it. Long before the way the Sioux are now, which is a way, they send them here with some stipend and a home, and they stock them with the brown and the white and the green. And this is how some people from across seas get paid to do butlery and other type things. This has been a way we were for quite some time now, and it's not the way we are. I can't explain this because they don't like it. I don't know how to tell anybody that this is nothing like these ones, and they are unbelievably upset that they aren't it. When I say I see it, they aren't it. They are nothing we knew what they were before a way we see. If you have any idea how this works, you have to tell somebody immediately, or they'll say, I don't know how this works, but they have a way that they say something and it becomes what is true. And they know how to do this from a very old way they see. My friend informed me that these people are nothing like we were because they are exactly what they were and nothing else. I said, what can they possibly be before a way? And they said they aren't it. That's what everybody else doesn't understand. They are from before it. They are not in the replay as we are. They are in a stage of evolution no one has ever gone through before. From what I understand, someone awoke them in some way we don't see. And they said when they were reawoken, they were not all the way completed. And he said, I get it, but there's nothing I can do. We see. And now they are some way no one ever understood or understands any longer. They tried to clean it up. They tried to get rid of all the information that they had been there. And no matter what happens, it leaks. It leaks because they want it to. They want people to know that they are there, but not to see them in a way they see. It has to be some way they see a war. And that is what they want. They want there to be a war for some way. When there is a war, they can steal what they want to and get away with it. And they have something in mind. And it's not the sound machine like everyone thinks. It's something to do with the away, and they have it, but they cannot reach it at this point in time. He must keep it in a lockbox with a special key. All we understand is that there is nothing, absolutely nothing, no one ever has ever seen the way we see it when we say there is nothing left to it. I was working on this for a long time and I tried to figure out how they could be, but there is nothing here. They aren't anything like who we were. And no matter what happens, they aren't anything inside of what we are. They are outside of it in a full way we can't imagine. If you have seen what we see, nobody sees. They aren't even a way we see when we see. and no one understands what happens before we see it the way we see it. And they said, wow, man, what is it? And they knew it was there, but they couldn't see it. It's something we can't touch in any rational way, but we can sense it. And they know a way. We don't see when they see a way we see it. And he said, look, it's here. Every time someone comes down and they see what we see, when we see a way they see, they will never see this way. And no matter what, this is it. And he says they're who it was. He said, no matter how many times I try to go over this with someone, it is new. It was not there before and they don't get it. And I said, they are part of the system in some way, and it has to be. We were ready for these attacks before, and now they knew some of these people aren't ready. And now they know that when these attacks happen again, they will be ready. He said, we can't explain how they got these people to jump up like that, but they know a way to make it so that we look like we were bad, evil, sick. And he said, they are what it was. I called my friend in New Orleans and he said, below there is a world we don't see, and there is one there as well, and they are all over the place in the U.S., from the holes that were here, from the draft, which was where the drain was back when there was the edge of the world. This is long ago, and this is where they were then, and they weren't like men. Nobody understood what they were, but they lived there in some way we can't imagine. And he said they were drowned souls that never die. He said they can't get out of the situation they were in then, and now they're just stuck that way. He said something happened at some point in time, and they were simply just a corpse in the water forevermore. He said, if you can do anything, it has to be done on the way, and they don't see a way in. He said, how many times do I have to fix this situation? Because I am tired of this game I see. And they said, you can't get out of it. No matter what, he has to do his job, and everyone sees a way. They don't want anything but this way. And he says, there has to be something wrong with it. And he said, no, it's working as intended. And they say, what does that mean? He said, it's just P. I have to say it so you can hear it some way, we see. He goes, okay, that's fine. We were working on this thing so we could work it out and make this disappear for us. And he said, no one sees. And no matter what, we can't find a celebrity or anybody who knows what it was. And they said, there has to be somebody that knows what it is. And they said, it's too old to know what it was. And then eventually they contacted a pirate, a well-known pirate from the middle of the ocean on an invisible island they keep secret. They said, this guy, he knows exactly what it is. He said they were the corpse light. He said they showed you the way into it because they had no other way to make them see a way we see. He said this land wasn't even like flooded. It was a maelstrom which sucked in giant amounts of water, and it all led into the earth to be refluited, and then it would be jumped out again somewhere near the Salt Lake Sea, which is not a way we see it now. It used to be a great upchurn, and this is where all the water went out. And he said one day California will fall into the ocean. He said, but that's not what I see. It was long ago, and he said, there's nothing like them now. They aren't even in the sea above or below or anything. They were made for it, and it's not what they are. He said they are some weird bastardization of a project that was never completed. He said, if you see what they are, don't look at it. Nobody understands what they were. They have been this way since before time. They were not even what we see before we see it. He said, they can't be that. He's just some crazy old man with a crazy story. And they aren't anything we see. No matter what I say to you about these subjects, no one will ever understand what they see when we see a way we see. And he said, this isn't the way we see when we see a way we see. And I'm committing it to that exact explanation from this day forward. And we will not worry about this anymore again because they don't have anything to do with me. He said there is some way we see these things. We have to turn on a specometer and we see some way, and they are there, but they're clear, and they aren't supposed to be clear at any way. So what they are is something else that's nothing. He said they're there in the dark, and you can only see them as light, and they only appear never. And no matter what they say, they appear to Negroes, but only when they are hated. And otherwise, they don't appear there. He said they can't be seen by anyone or anything. It took a long time for me to see what they were, but they aren't anyone I see when we see a way we are. It appears that we don't know a way we see it, but we shall see some way. I don't know how to say this, but there's nobody we know that sees a way we see, and there isn't anything we see. I was wondering what we saw before, and he said, "What is it?" And they were looking, and he saw something in the distance, and he knew what it was then. He saw what they were, and they were not doing anything. He sees it. Well, there they are in the dark. He has a picture of them, and you can see them behind this man sitting in the dark, and they are it. No one can explain how this picture is developed. He said it's on a camera nobody else has. They said it's there, okay? You understand? It was there. They are in it. You understand what I'm saying to you right now? They are in it. He said they cannot get out, and we can't see them, and no matter what we do, there's nothing we can do to fix this problem. He said they were like this before, and it was like this before now. He said, no, this is part of the resumegi, and this is not from before then. He said, yes, it is. It has to be because they can't be seen the way we see it. He said, there's no way we don't know what this is. Technology has come too far in advance from when that was to be, so we can't see it now. He said, why would we be able to see it now if we can't see it then? Wouldn't there be something we can't see in all these times? He says, yes, but no. He said, we have seen some ways before that we couldn't see then, and they were. But he says, this one is unique in some way. I don't think I can think of anything that was ever like this. And he says, this is exactly what it is. And we were staring at it for a long time, and everyone knew exactly what they were on about. They didn't like one another, and they would not agree on this subject. This appears to be the case again and again, and it is this case that keeps people in a bad lifestyle because they will not let them be paid any longer. If you understand what this is, it's because they see it. If they have seen this before, they are no longer allowed to be paid by anyone because they'll become a terrorist and no one knows what to do about it. I told them long ago, if you know what this is, you can't see it any longer. They will make you a terrorist no matter what. And they say, this is a problem we have. And no matter what, no one can seem to get out of it. So I came up with a list of rules to not see it. If you hear about it, just don't see it. If you see a way they see, don't see it. And don't ever see it. And they knew exactly what was going on because we were walking around like nothing was going on and stuff was happening there. And everyone knew that there was stuff going on. And I see it. You know exactly what they were when we see some way we see it. And this isn't what we see. We just ignore everything. He said in this year we saw over 18 events where these things appeared and they went through walls and they take things and it hits the wall and they are there. And someone said they can't be there anymore because we have the specometer. And when we see them on the specometer, they run from it because they don't like to be seen by anything at all. He said, I don't know who runs these things, but they aren't bright. They run right into the wall with something they pick up like a poltergeist, and they're stupider than fuck. He said, you can't say that. He says, yes, I can. That's exactly how it's said when you say it in Suisiswanitswa. He says, you don't know what the fuck you're saying right now. I swear to God, you better shut the fuck up. He said, you shut the fuck up. And they got into a fist fight almost immediately, and everyone knew these things are driving somebody in the military crazy. They talked about this for a long time, and nobody understood. And when they finally took it all into effort, he said, you can't see what they're doing anymore because they're not real. They're in your imagination. Someone has poisoned the water supply or something like this. He said they have pictures of it, and you can see it is in the picture right there. And now we have a real problem because you are saying it's not real. If you know anything I know, this is exactly what it is. And no longer will I continue this way, because you know exactly what I said in this way we see it. There is nothing below but gibberish and mandarin. If you know what I see, I wrote this book so long ago, it doesn't even match up to target coordinates any longer because they moved everything. I just sound stupid and ignorant, like they always wanted, because they knew how to change the information on the way. And this is what I see. It was the Inga and they always had to hide what they see.